Welcome, thank you for joining me. My name is James Welsh. I am the author of Corroborating Evidence, the UFO investigation of the millennium. Today's the 21st of May, and I would like to address this little dilemma that the US security and intelligence forces are currently facing. This huge dilemma to US service personnel with this what they described as an unmanned aerial platform, and which Jeremy Corbell has said was, quote, a flying pyramid. It's a flying pyramid, unquote. And also, quote, these are real and need to be investigated, unquote. So, as someone who wants to get to the bottom of the truth, as he claims, why is he not checking out the material that he comes into prior to publishing? Because if he had only investigated this himself, he could have saved a whole lot of bother last year, and it would have saved the Pentagon and the security services and the UAPTF and all of them having egg on their face with regards to this big threat currently being faced. Now, I was really surprised to see the other day at the UAP public hearings that this was the same footage that they were peddling to Congress as the big threat to aviators. And this is what drove me absolutely crazy last year when this was all released. And the bottom line is that it forced me to return to the previous research that I had undertaken into the NASA STS-103 Hubble servicing mission, and what I had discovered back in 2012 and then revalidated in 2018. So last year, the most intense study ever went back into these Hubble servicing mission records, and a whole catalogue of discoveries, incredible discoveries, were made. At the end of December, going into the start of this year, 2022, further massive discoveries were made on these mission images, leading to some startling, earth-shaking conclusions. And that research has now continued into up to now, and over the course of the past few weeks, there has been a trickle and then a flow of new discoveries which were made on evidence which was acquired 10 years ago, but the significance of it went completely under the radar, and it's only now that I have a much better understanding of what is going on in these mission images that I am able to go back and look at some of this previous evidence and now interpret and understand and identify and then pinpoint its location and purpose and design application. So it's all been a bit crazy, and as I say, I began to research all of this way back in 2001 after having an entire series of close-range UFO sightings spread right throughout December 1999 on the 4th, 10th, 11th, 14th, 15th and 25th of December. So this is why I went on to research and write and publish Corroborating Evidence, the UFO investigation of the millennium, in 2014, to highlight and present the object which I found in orbit in close range to the Hubble Space Telescope and Discovery during its redeployment on December the 25th, 1999. And when I exposed this object, has the shadow profile of the Hubble Space Telescope cast directly onto its hull, and that for me just topped it off, because the shadow proved the validity of this item, or this object being in orbit, and physically being there for the shadow to actually cast onto the surface area. So this validated that this craft, which appeared in NASA Frame 73, was indeed present right throughout the redeployment sequence. So as I say, I found that out in 2012, August 31st, 2012, and then I went on to publish corroborating evidence on July 8th, 2014. And a lot has happened since then. So as I say, last year I went absolutely start raving bonkers at the fact that this information about these, quote, flying pyramids, unquote, and then when it was legitimised by the Pentagon and the Navy, and the media lapped it up, this is what really drove me to go back and look at this research that I'd undertaken beforehand and advance on it like I never thought was possible. So I'm going to be releasing all that, and I am in the process of releasing all that information just now. But as far as the security services and the Pentagon are concerned, with the public UAP hearings with Congress, it was all nonsense, and they were presenting this nonsense once again as the real deal and the big threat to US service personnel, Navy, Air Force or whatever. And there it is there, and they've said, oh, they've managed to get footage of this thing in two different parts of America or whatever, two different, the Pacific and the Atlantic or whatever. And Jeremy Corbell says that these things need investigated, and if only had done so, and if only the UAPTF had properly done so, then maybe I would have never set off my own investigations all over again. But the bottom line is here is the solution to the big threat to US service personnel currently that is causing this big fuss with them all. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention, everyone, just to let you all see that. And that is a big threat to US service personnel. So there it is. It's not an unmanned aerial platform at all. It's just commercial air traffic filmed with their navigation lights on over the Pacific or the Atlantic, and filmed under conditions that create this effect called bokeh, where everything turns triangular because of the iris. So there we have it, and that is that dilemma solved. So what you're getting from the security services in the Pentagon just now is PIFL, universally accepted PIFL, UAP. So there it is, folks. There's that big dilemma solved. So don't buy into their lies. This is just nonsense, and this is a bigger intelligence failure than 9/11. To be honest, it really is, and I've already highlighted that in my upcoming new book. I say I've exposed the biggest intelligence failure in human history. So whoops. So crazy stuff. At least when I go to my grave, I can all lived a full life. So it's not everybody that exposes a multi-billion-dollar cover-up, stretching back 75 years, and it's coming up 75 years this year. It's not far off, so I'll have all this stuff out for the anniversary, going right into July 8th. I'll be publishing. So see you guys soon. Thanks for joining in.